think today we'll talk about the dirty part of being a grease monkey at a place called JB's Auto Clinic. If you didn't know my dad, he comes from a small little village in the town of Lozevski in Macedonia, which is the lower part of former Yugoslavia, literally right across from Greece. You know, it's not the rich part of town. It's definitely where the peasants are from. So he's very humble, come from a humble background. He had to live on the streets to go to school. You know, living on the farm was the preferred way of living, but he chose education, and so he had to leave the farm and go sleep on the park benches, stuff his jackets with his jacket with newspapers to keep warm at night. That's kind of a little bit about my dad's background. He migrated here, you know, came over on the boat when he was 18 with his whole family. 43rd Avenue in Camelback was a place where we opened up a shop, little dealership, little gypsy dealership. Wasn't the normal, you know, mom and pop shop. It was definitely the old villager from the old country kind of shop. And I'm not going to say it's mafioso because we were definitely not that classy, but we were definitely involved in maybe some unorganized stuff. But that's for another time. You know, I started there when I was 8 years old, you know, handing out tools, cleaning parts for my brothers. None of us had any idea of what the hell we were doing. The way my dad ran the business at JB's Auto Clinic was we'd go to the dealership and buy cars, right? And for as cheap as possible. So my dad would have us go walk around and he'd pick out the 4 or 5 cars that he thought he could, you know, get for cheap, that were pretty decent, he could, you know, resell. So what we do is, I don't know if anybody of you are familiar with how to, you know, make a car run, but not make it run good. So what we do is we swap the wires, we'd cross the wires, the spark plug wires, and it would just sputter. It wouldn't look good going down the line. Of course, nobody would bid on the car, and my dad would wind up getting a few cars at a time, very cheap, and very inexpensive for us to go and resell. So we'd buy a bunch of cars, do that little gypsy, you know, tactic. We'd wind up selling the cars to the immigrants that came over when the war broke out. You know, a bunch of my country folk, you know, unfortunately had to move out here and, you know, try to find lives, and the war was going on and stuff like that. So what my dad had going on was he would give the car, you know, sell a car to one of his people. He would give him the car and just tell him to make payments. No down payment, no credit checks, no, I mean, this is old country stuff. So yeah, 9 times out of 10, they'd make the payment, you know, because they respected my dad and, you know, appreciated everything that he gave them. You know, car, it's huge. You couldn't get that from any other shop, you know, they're not going to give you a car. I mean, geez, you have to give them money, you know. So anyway, 9 times out of 10, payments are fine, good. But that one, that was a different story. So what we'd have to do, because some people didn't respect my father and didn't appreciate what he, you know, did for them, we would go out and we'd repo the car. We'd throw a jack in the back of our truck. We'd have a dolly ready to go. I'd have my Slim Jim. I don't know if you're familiar with the Slim Jim, but I'd have one of those. They're tools to kind of get into the car without anybody noticing. I think they're illegal now. They were back then. Whatever. So had my toolkit to go do my job at 13, 14, by the way. So anyway, we'd go midnight to the guy that wouldn't, you know, pay for the car, and just go take it back. How we did it, sometimes I'd have to, you know, Slim Jim the car, get in, unlock the car. We wouldn't have keys. I'd Slim Jim it, unlock the car, pop it in neutral, and then if we couldn't turn the steering wheel, that's why we had the jack in the back of the truck. So I'd jack the car up, and turn it just enough, as quiet as possible. With the front wheels off the ground, you can turn with the jack, pull it really quietly in the middle of the night, and get it straight enough to get it on the dolly and strap it and go. So that's one of our stories that we had to, that Jason got me to say, but I've got plenty more and much more dirty if you want.
What was so you're a gypsy repo man? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, you can call it that, gypsy repo man.
Someone's gotta be